and resume and can advise that it does not contain any confidential information.
Okay,
So we went through the proper channels.
okay.
That's what I can
My
say.
question is, once you had these applications in your possession, as I understand it, long after these positions were closed, is that
Right.
correct? What did you do with them?
They were put in an envelope and put in the front office to be picked up
By who?
by the requester.
And who is the requester?
Well, you know the answer to that.
Well,
You know the answer.
actually, I'm doing this on one day's notice, so I don't think I
Okay.
really did.
Well, you
Totally.
asked that quite well. I'll give you one guess.
All right, just
Let's-
get,
let's- well, no, I'll give you the guess.
no, I don't want to
Okay,
guess.
Mr. Lozano, you know the
Okay.
answer, so are you acting as prosecutor or what are you acting
No,
as?
I'm trying to get to the bottom of this.
Okay, all right.
All right, so you put them in an envelope, for Mr., why did you do that?
So they could be retrieved, obviously. So they could be picked up by the
Just as a
requester.
favor, or
No,
you're
not
a
as
good guy, or what
not
was
as
the,
a
what was
favor.
the deal?
To comply with the law,
Okay,
the Texas Open Records Act.
okay.
Would you rather I not have answered the Open Records Act?
I'm just curious why you gave it to Mr. Lozano.
Well, he requested them, sir.
And you're saying that you're doing it pursuant to Texas Open Records Act. Do you have any idea what use he was going to make of it?
That's none of my business.
I mean, do you know?
That's none of, again, when people ask for open records, it's the public's information and they're obligated to have it.
But you didn't have any idea what he was going to do with it. I mean, did you or did you not?
That's not a relevant question.
No, I know you.
That's not a
I'm not
relevant
asking if
question.
you asked him. I'm just saying, did you know?
That's not a relevant question, sir.
So you don't want to answer my question. Is that your answer?
Let me ask you, are you acting, what is
No,
your
no,
role?
no, but
What is
I'm
your
just
role?
asking you a question. This is an initial inquiry
Okay.
of this complaint. I'm just trying to get to the bottom of it.
Let me tell you this, is that this complaint filed upon me is political, it's frivolous, and back to my original question, after I incur thousands upon thousands of dollars in legal damages, does this commission prohibit me from seeking reimbursement in civil courts?
No, I think that you could,
Okay, all right,
I think you could file a lawsuit or whatever
Okay,
you want to
good.
do in that regard, but I don't see anything in the provisions of this code that allows you to recoup some kind of costs or attorney's fees or
Okay, so
anything like
that is an option to recover my legal fees?
Yeah, I think,
Okay.
anybody can sue anybody in civil court and ask
Okay.
for damages and attorney's fees and all that sort of thing. So.
Okay, that's all I
Okay.
have. If you don't mind, the sections that have been brought forward, 10, 11, 12, 13, I would like to hear, your legal professional opinion on those sections, if you don't mind.
Well,
10, 11, 12.
I'll tell you what I'm gonna do in that regard. I'm gonna ask that we go into executive session. I'll advise the board on that, and if the board, whatever they decide, I assume they'll issue some, opinion or order,
Well,
on that.
why does that have to go into executive session? Doesn't the public have the right to hear section 10,
They can
11, 12?
decide to go into executive session or not. I think it's more
Well,
appropriate.
why don't we hear this, if you can define for us sections 10, 11, 12,
Well, I'm not,
13?
I don't think you're the one asking questions, Mick.
Okay, all right. Okay, well, thank you very much.
Uh,
For clarity, you're referring to 10, 11, 12, and 13 in the amended complaint?
Yes.
Any other questions?
Or you, or the
Well,
Well, in the code, yeah. I would like to hear the committee's discussion on 10, 11, 12, and 13 in the code. I mean, I think you all have some questions, and I'd like to sit here if that's okay, and
Let me ask
to
you-
hear them.
Let me ask you one other question. Did you,
Well, sir, if you don't mind, I think we'll hold that discussion until I have my legal counsel.
you absolutely
yeah,
have a right
yeah,
to do
because it
that.
appears that you-
Under this, you have a right to be represented by counsel at an initial hearing.
Yeah, if you don't mind, because I think that some of your questioning is maybe a little bit geared in a way that I'm not comfortable with, if that's okay. But I would like to hear section 10, 11, 12, and 13, if that's... just some discussion on the board. I'm sure the board has some questions.
I motion that we go to executive session to comply with the initial inquiry section of the code, and then we can come back and discuss.
Motion made.
Second that.
Mr. Cossey, you're saying, this is the first time I've seen this, that some of your paper from 2007 was provided? Because as I see here, this request was for, for applications in 2008. So you're saying some of the 2007 was provided that probably shouldn't have been because this was specifically for 2008.
Okay, there's been a motion made, go into second.
I'm sorry, just for the immediate understanding again, why are we now, as David asked earlier, why are we now going into executive session compared to earlier?
Well, you can go into executive session at any time on initial inquiry. Apparently, the practice has been to hear witnesses, but they could have gone into executive session immediately.
From the start.
They're just making that motion.
Because it's a personnel issue. Is that it?
We had everything open to the public until.
Yeah, what is the findings for going into executive session? I mean, employee matters, am I an employee?
No, they can just go into executive session on.
Okay, because I think the public deserves the opportunity to hear discussion on 10, 11, 12, and 13. If I'm being accused of violating these sections, I ask one question: which sections? That's it.
Well, we do have a precedent, and one of that is that we have an initial inquiry where the Board of Ethics makes a determination of whether the complaint is even within its jurisdiction. And so certainly these are relevant, but we've been handed a huge plate of stuff. Yes. A lot of, that we just have to digest.
Okay, all right. Is it fair for me to assume no action will be taken, and that way we can get, I can get legal representation on my end? I mean, is action going to be taken today?
We don't know, Judge, we're going to executive session, we'll come back. We got to discuss it.
Okay.
It could happen, it might happen.
They have to,
Right.
they have to figure out their jurisdiction, to hear the complaint, whether it states a complaint, its phase, all of that, and also they're gonna be consulting, with their attorney, which is me, appropriate for executive session, and also concerning the, discipline of a public, officer,
Okay,
yourself, so that's certainly an entirely valid